Evening, ladies and gents. Today we gather to confront a common belief, a notion that, if not looked into carefully, has the potential to hinder individuals from self actualization. My team and I will be opposing the notion which states that differing cognitive abilities give an unfair advantage in academic performance. To oppose this notion, we need to understand the basic terms of academic performance or success and cognitive abilities. According to the Handbook of Research on Redesigning Teaching and Learning, academic performance refers to the outcome of students' efforts to attain some educational goals, while cognitive abilities, according to Science Direct, are brain based skills that allow humans to carry out tasks at various levels of difficulty and include memory, critical thinking, and so on. From these definitions and the topic at hand, we will negate we will be negating this that the superior cognitive abilities don't give an unfair advantage in academic performance, meaning cognitive abilities are just part of the many factors that come into play in an individual's academic performance or success. Ben Carson, in his book The Gifted Hands, said, and I quote, "There is no such thing as average human being. If you have a normal brain, you are superior." Drawing perspective from Ben Carson's life and background while growing up, despite the challenges he faced, he achieved great heights in academic. While my team and I, using Ben Carson as a case study, would like to prove to you or will prove to you that our environment, effort, and passion give an even greater advantage in academic performance. Thank you.
My name is Temidayo and I'm supporting the motion that different cognitive abilities does impact academic performance, and here's why. Before we get into that, I would like to first define the three types of students we find in an average classroom, starting with the average student. A typical classroom consists of more average students. The second type is a student with special needs. These students find it difficult to learn from the same way you teach an average student. And the third type is those with cognitive edges. These students find it extremely easy in an average classroom. So our motion here is that these students who differ from the average student should not be graded the same or taught in the same way as the average student, because they have different capacities and different needs. Science has proven that some students or some people just find it way easier to learn. They have sort of a cognitive edge over others. So thereby, they shouldn't be treated the same way as an average person learn. The educational system should be in such a way that it accommodates these three different types of students. If you've ever been in a classroom with a student with special needs, you will know that you are not typically taught the same way or graded the same way. That is the same way you should not be taught the same way or graded the same way with a student with a cognitive edge. This may have various impacts on both the average student and the special student. My co-debaters will tell you more about these various impacts.
All protocols duly observed. My name is Edikan and I am in the no team. And I am going to add to what my fellow speaker of the no team has already said. So I do not agree that cognitive abilities provide an unfair advantage in terms of academic performance, because academic performance is not just based on cognitive abilities. There are many other factors that have to be considered when we're talking about academic performance. An example of these factors is environmental factors. The environment of a student can affect his or her performance. For example, if a student was raised in a home where the parents are very strict about reading culture and setting timetables, and like maybe studying during the summer, you have to keep reading, you have to keep studying, this child will have, should I say, this child will have like an inbuilt attribute of studying. This child will study more than a child whose parents does not emphasize or overemphasize on studying. And when you study more, you will develop more ways to understand better, and it will also like improve your IQ. So it's not just about the cognitive abilities that you were born with. There are other factors that have to be put in place. So I don't think that cognitive abilities provide an unfair advantage, because there are also environmental factors that have to be considered.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Abdurrahman Muhammad, and I will be presenting the points for our team, and that's the S team. Sorry, my colleague has already introduced you all to what we are going to argue on, and then it's my responsibility now to present our points, and I hope you all give us listening ears. So firstly, nowadays most scholarships tend to favor students with exceptional cognitive abilities, and this actually leaves out those with average or below average performances. This limits their access to opportunities that could support them on their academic journey. We see scholarships nowadays, we can see they have very rigorous eligibility criteria: 5 A's in WAEC, 9 A's in WAEC, 350 plus in JAM. This is not actually convenient for the majority. So, and these scholarships are supposed to be, let's say, driven or more interested in making the world a better place. And if you have a small group of people, a lot cannot be achieved with that. And secondly, when students with lower academic performance find themselves surrounded by high achieving peers, their confidence and self-esteem can suffer. It doesn't matter if it's academics. Any environment you have, and in that environment you have people of contrasting attributes, this will definitely happen. So that scenario can contribute to their struggle to excel academically, as the people we spend time with can influence our behavior and thought patterns. Thirdly, often teachers concentrate on honing the skills of students who are already high performing, potentially neglecting those who need additional support. And finally, on my own part, in the process of exams and test preparations, you may have a student that finds it easy to grasp the material handout, any resource actually that one can use to facilitate his study process for an exams. I think it's synonymous to material there. Material has a lot of meanings, and after grasping the material, he does it very quickly, and you might have another person, a separate person, that would just do it and still not understand if he's going to follow the same pattern. So he'll take more time, and in fact may need additional support. And at the end, they are still, despite the differences, they are still expected to take the same exams, and they are supposed to get the same results, which I believe you guys agree with me that it's not possible. So these few points of mine, I hope you guys are convinced on on the fact that different cognitive abilities do not provide fair academic opportunities. If we may rephrase the topic, they're all the same thing. So thank you very much. I'll leave the stage now for my next colleague to file. Thank you.
My name is Fatma Liujigam. All protocols duly observed, and building on the other speaker's points, I'd firstly like to start by opposing the second speaker on the yes team's point, in which he pointed out that scholarships favor students with better cognitive abilities, with no proof or evidence that it was their cognitive abilities. It could be hard work, but he gave no evidence-based points and just expressed himself based on his personal perspective, hence why I don't believe what he said holds much relevance. With my own point, I would like to say that cognitive abilities, whether superior or not, are not the only factors at play when it comes to academic success, an argument that has already been opened by my colleagues. Carol Dweck's 2006 research on growth mindset indicates that effort, perseverance, and positive attitude towards learning play a significant role in academic success. To expand on this, people who are viewed as natural geniuses or who have a gift for learning and academics aren't always automatically successful. Why is this? It is because of how powerful the human psyche can be, providing an advantage to even the most seemingly ordinary person. Human will, passion, and mindset are factors that have historically enabled people to accomplish seemingly indomitable feats, such as when Ben Carson performed the first successful separation of conjoined twins who were attached at the back of the head. When you put this in perspective with regards to academics, students with a positive mindset, strong will, tenacity, and especially passion can and usually do excel in their studies. Thank you.
Standing on all existing protocols, my name is Chiamanda and I am representing the YES team. Cognitive abilities usually include attention, memory, logic and reasoning, auditory and visual processing. These all involve listening, perception, and attention to detail. For people with stronger cognitive skills, they have an unfair advantage in academic performance. In 2004, a study was carried out by Heiner Rinderman and Aljoska C. Newborough. This study tested the relationship between different mental abilities, including IQ and creativity and performance. In a sample of 271 students from a German gymnasium using a speed factor model, it was concluded that the processing speed influences higher mental abilities and, in conclusion, influences people's school performance. Amy Feldman Farb defined academic performance as a grade point average, standardized test scores, and educational aspirations and attainments. Now, using an example in which two students having to take an exam in a controlled room with no external factors affecting them, they probably grew in the same place and stuff like that. The student with the higher cognitive abilities is more likely to finish the test on time and pass better, unless the other student has to put more effort. If they put in the same type of efforts, it will not work. So therefore, the other students will have to put in more efforts, which is not fair.
It seems to me like the opposition still find it hard to grapple with the fact that some people are actually natural geniuses. Basically, academic performance is affected by multiple factors, environment, whatnot. But some people genetically, biologically, are just natural geniuses because it has to do with their biology, it has to do with the inheritance. Like, for example, the link I posted, this is a 3-year-old girl. I don't know what kind of environment she would have been exposed to that she's such a genius. So that just proves that some people are actually born geniuses, and we're not discriminating them. We're just saying that we just need you to accept that these people are naturally born geniuses and they shouldn't be graded the same or put in the same shoes as other types of children, be it average or maybe lower performance kids.
standing on already existing protocols, opposing the motion for the no team, the motion, opposing the points laid down by one of the yes team's members, where she was talking about how ADHD and other cognitive disabilities affects academic performance. Opposing the motion, pointing out that there's a very strong, although there are cases like that, but it shows that they were not determined and focused enough to really perform academically. Looking at the case of Stephen Hawking, although he was diagnosed with ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, it's a progressive neurological disease that affects nerve cells, and it also affects executive functioning decline and memory impairment. Despite the fact he attained great heights in research and academic performance. Thank you.
Standing on existing protocol, my name is Edikan Edit, and I am against the motion that differing cognitive abilities give an unfair advantage in academic performance. So my last point is accommodation and support. In as much as students have differing cognitive abilities, accommodations like tutoring are provided for them in most settings. Accommodations like tutoring are provided, and when students that may have not gotten as much knowledge in class are tutored, they get the knowledge that might have been lacking, and therefore it is not unfair to have them to go through the same examinations and evaluations as students who got other things in class. Yes. So accommodation and support is also a factor, and in my opinion, it's actually an equalizing factor in this case.
So yes, there are different things that one can do to try boost their academic performance, and like your team has said, a lot of times environment does affect, and also hard work and everything can be put in. However, the work that people with higher cognitive abilities put in is less than what those with less cognitive abilities will have to put in. Some people could just read a book once or twice and it's stuck. Other people have to read 5 times. So they have an unfair advantage, and that is what this debate is about.
Students, I stand on already existing protocols. I am by name Olatosin Otunbade, speaking for the no team. I understand the immense pressure we all face. I know the frustration when some subjects don't come naturally, despite our hard work. As the case study I used earlier in my first point and introducing point, I'm about Ben Carson, a renowned neurosurgeon who struggled academically in his early life. He was considered the dumbest in his class at 5th grade, and he was always at the bottom of the class in his early years of academics. Nevertheless, his mother encouraged him to read and believe in his potential. As our second speaker pointed out, his environment influenced his performance in his academics. And also our third speaker, also mentioned about passion, resilience, and persistence playing an important and even a more advantageous role in academic performance. Through his sheer determination, he transformed his academic trajectory, ultimately becoming a world-renowned neurosurgeon. This shows that intelligence is not the sole determiner of success. our resilience, work ethic, and adaptability play crucial roles. Albert Einstein once said, "Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work." Thank you.
In summary, what we're saying is the same way students or people with special needs are treated differently, average students should be the same way people with cognitive edges should be treated different from average students. We're not denying the fact that success in general, as the opposition said, which I think it's different from academic success, is not affected by environment and those other external factors, but it's undeniable that genetics and biology and the work of God contributes to that. I mean, the evidences of people who are exceptional in that case. So, yeah, so that's just it. Thank you. I really enjoyed the debate, by the way, on side note. Very interesting. I love those quotes from Albert, those other guys.